Hello architects and welcome back to another RPG Architect tutorial. My name is Bert and we are going to be continuing our battle system tutorial today. If you did not watch part 1 yet, you probably should do that before you jump in here. There will be a link in the description or one of those card things popping up here or something. I don't know what I'll do. Go watch part 1 first. So that you can figure out how we got to this screen of dancing Gooble Gobbles. Also, if you haven't watched the statistics video, you should probably do that before you get into this battle system series. And one more, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be creating the overlay, the, like the window with the character names and stats and stuff on it. It's going to be very similar to the user interface tutorial we did before. So if you've watched that, you kind of have an idea. There's some little differences here though, but anyway, that's enough prefacing. Let's get into it because we got a lot to cover again. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close this window. We're going to go to our tools. We're going to go to database. I'm going to full size this, full screen. What we're doing, like I said, we're going to create a user interface to go to use in our battle. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to resize. I'm going to add a few. I'm weird. I like little buffers between things, so I'm going to leave 5 empty for now. But oh, look at that. 5 and 6 are not empty. Those were probably tests that I did. Let's just ignore it. So 5 and 6 are empty. So we're going to go to 007. Bond. James Bond. All right, what I want to do, we're going to call this one a battle overlay. You guys watch. I'm gonna name everything normal today. It's not gonna be any funny names. I know some of you may be disappointed, but I'm gonna do it. So anyway, battle overlay. We're gonna go ahead and set the context before I forget. We're gonna set it to battlers. We are going to add in a pane. Pane in my. We're gonna call this BG. We are gonna do St. Edward's Games. If you've watched this tutorial series, you probably know where I'm going with this. I'm going to select Blackboard. That's what we've been using for our we use for our menu, for our dialog boxes. We're going to keep it consistent. We're going to use that. Bam, full screen in there, just like we've done before. We are going to size this down. So I'm going to say something about like that.
A few moments later.
So that's good. That's our backdrop. Backdrop? What is a backdrop? Backdrop there. Let's do a couple texts. These are going to be easy ones. I'm going to knock them out. Actually, let's just start with one. Getting ahead of myself. I'm going to call this name in all caps. Set the font size to 36. I'm going to type in text name. And you see up here populated up there. I'm going to drop it down here-ish. I'm gonna drop it over to here-ish. Kind of do something fancy. And then I'm gonna use the drop shadow feature. Set my drop shadow to, oh, it's already black. Is it? There we go. And then offset it a little bit. Boom, easy. I'm gonna do this again. This is another one of those speedrun tutorials, guys. I'm going to call this HP. We're going to change the text here to HP. This is all cosmetic stuff I'm knocking out first. Okay? I'm going to drag it over about here-ish. And then I'm going to copy and paste again. We're going to call this MP. We are going to change the text here to MP. You got it. And then I'm going to scroll it over about here-ish, roughly. Something about like that. Bam! Easy peasy, quick win. Alright, now here's where the actual info gets entered. So we're going to do new. We are going to do a templated list. We are going to come here. We're going to call it stats. Yeah, we'll call it stats. We got vertical orientation because we want it to display vertically. We want the info to come in. Like we're gonna have like character. Got it? Okay. Template type, we don't necessarily have to set this. You can leave it blank. You can set it to battler. Locke told me it's not quite important for this context, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forget all of what he said, but I guess I can't undo it, so we're set to battler now, but I don't think that's necessary. Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Okay, so I'm gonna come down. I don't need a cursor in this particular context. I don't need cursor sound effects. We want to come to item components. We are going to add a new component. We are going to do, what do I want to do first? We're going to start with name. So I just selected text, go to name. I'm just going to call this char name, character name. Remember, like when you name things in system, this is just for your own internal reference. It's not how it's going to display in the game. It's just for you to keep things organized. So you could even leave this blank, but as you filled things in, it would start to get pretty confusing. So I'm going to call it char name, character name. I'm going to set my font size to 36. I'm going to come here to text, use template. I'm going to type in name. Now that does matter. That is pulling the character name from the template, okay? You see up here, we have them up here, kind of populate up here, kind of in a random smattering. So before I set it here, I'm gonna come over to my templated list position, come all the way down to relative height and width. I think I need it to be like, I'm just gonna copy the info I have. Actually, let's see, let's drag that down. I need to come back up here, relative height, there we go. This is what I wanted. The relative height under item details, that's what I wanted. And let's see, I have it set on my sample, my test project to about 9. We'll do 10, let's start with 10. I got my relative width to, I guess relative width wouldn't matter for this context. Anyway, we just adjust the values till we get it in place. So let's see, let's go 31. Actually, not 31 is too far. 18 looks good, and we want this top one to start there. That looks pretty good. Ignore this one. Keep it at 91, okay? Okay, so that's good. So our character names should be displaying in here, and since we're only gonna have 4 party members at a time, you know, this one right here will never come into play. All right, bam, that's one thing down. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep going. All right, so we are gonna do another text. We're gonna come up here, we're gonna call it, let's call this max HP. And let's go to 36. We're gonna keep our font size as 36 for all of them just to keep it consistent. We're gonna use a template again because we need to pull from the database what our max HP is. So I'm gonna write in statistics. I'm gonna do the open bracket. I'm gonna write max underscore HP, close bracket. And just keep in mind, again, like I said, you need to watch the statistics tutorial. The HP value here, that's going to be whatever you define it as. So if you called it health, you'd put in like max underscore health. If you called it max or vitals or whatever you defined it as. Here, I'll even just show you. Let me click apply so I don't lose that. Let me jump over here to statistics, HP, whatever you defined it as under this formula name, okay? That's what you need to refer to. So come back to user interface, battle overlay, stats, item components, max HP. We're back. Okay. So use template, statistics, max HP. Got it? Love it? Good. Okay, but you can see up here, it's not lined up right, so we just got to come down, and for this instance, you know, we got our first one set up with the name. We got that positioned. Now everything needs to be set up relative to that. So we're gonna adjust the size the position in this right window. So let's come down. Let's drop the relative y a bit. Let's bump our x over. And this is max HP, so we're going to want that to display kind of on the right side here, okay? Is that lined up pretty good with the character name? I think it could probably be a little bit lower. We're going to go 14. There we go. Okay. And I'm just using my mouse wheel to like send it over there. You can use your arrow keys. You can just type in the value directly, however you want to do. But we're going to start with that. Max HP at relative X 62%. Your numbers, again, your numbers are not necessarily going to be the same as mine. This is just showing you the concepts behind it all, okay? You type in your statistics max HP, you position it how you need it for your own personal interface, okay? All right, so that's it for max HP. We're going to do another text. This one we're going to do, I'll do current HP. Again, that's just for own reference. You can call it whatever you want. Set the size to 36. We are going to use template. We're going to do statistics again. We are going to open bracket and then just HP. Close bracket. Okay? And that's just calling whatever your character's current HP is. Not their max HP, but their current, okay? So that's that. And then we just, like as per usual, we're just going to pop it into place. So I think we had relative Y for these set to 14. 14, is that what I did? Yeah, 14. Relative Y. But we need it to be to the left of max HP. Oh, and okay, so I needed to have it justify vertical alignment and horizontal alignment. That's like you know, in like a Word document or something, you have justify left, justify center, justify right. I mean, that's what this stuff is. So I think I want this horizontal alignment to be end, which is going to throw it over there. That's going to affect my relative X. So I set my horizontal alignment because, okay, I gotta stop doing things with my hands. I want the right side column to stay the same, and as you, like, say you start off with a two-digit HP, you know, you have those two, and as you get a third digit, it populates to the left of your current HP. As you get a fourth digit, it populates to the left. You know what I'm saying? I might not have explained it right, but I want this particular stat to be justified right, so I set horizontal alignment end, okay? Justify right. And then I set my relative X accordingly, about there. And see, max HP is set to horizontal alignment start, so it's actually going to justify left. I probably could do it end as well, but this is fine for right now. Just keep that in mind when you're setting your stuff up, okay? All right, so that's it for HP. I'm going to do one more text for HP. I'm just going to call this one divider with a capital D. And this one, I don't need to use a template, so I use this top bar. I'm just going to do a /. That's it. That's all I want. Oh, and I need to set the font size. Let's go to 36. And relative X, let's pop it over here. About there. 58 looks good. And then set my relative Y to 14 again, because that's where everything else is. See, and then that's just going to be consistent. You know, I don't need to pull any stats or anything. That's just for, you know, to show, oh, you have 500 HP out of 1,000, or whatever it ends up being. Gotcha? Okay. So that's that for HP. Let's just copy and paste all this. Copy max HP. We're going to rename it to MP. On the system name, we're going to come down here to statistics. We're going to change statistics max HP to max MP. And we are going to throw the relative X over. About there. Yeah, about there. That's fine. We're going to copy current HP. Told y'all this is speedrun. Current HP. Change it to current MP. Change statistic to current MP, or just to MP, not max MP. And we are going to adjust our relative. And we're going to send it over this way. About like that. You can get real specific with it if you want to go back and forth and be like, okay, the current HP and the max HP are this far apart, 15% apart or whatever it ends up being, and you can do the same with your MP. I'm just eyeballing it. So we got MP in place, and we're going to copy this divider. We're going to do one more of those, and just relative X. Let's just send it this way. I think I will take my max MP and send it over a little bit more, because I like the way how I lined it up with HP over here, the divider, MP divider right there. Pretty good, not bad. I'm gonna do one more thing, okay? So right now what we have, it's gonna display our character's name, our character, as they are in our party. It's gonna show their current HP in this column. It's gonna show their max HP here, as is displayed. And then over here, same thing. It's going to show their current MP and their max MP. Okay? Last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up little gauges underneath, like little bars to show how much you're like, you know what I'm saying? Little gauges, bars, percentages, whatever. So I'm going to click Add Component. I'm going to do Gauge. Select it. Let's go to this. Call this HP Gauge. I can spell. I can't spell. I can spell. Okay. We're going to do current value. Type in statistics again. Open bracket. This is HP, so we're going to do HP. Close bracket. Easy. Okay. We'll keep this as percentage. Maximum value. We want the statistics again. I'm just going to copy and paste, but instead of HP, the maximum value needs to be max_HP. So current value, statistics HP, maximum value, statistics, max HP. If you have a value, like a set value, like say you had like charge points or skill points, and you know that they'll never get over 10, you could just type in 10 here, But if you need it to reference a changing value that's stored in the database, you would do statistics max whatever that value is, or whatever that stat is. Make sense? One more thing we got to do here. We need to, since we're doing a gauge, we need to set a fill graphic. So we're going to come here to our little dots. We're going to come over to St. Edward's Games. I just need a color. So I'm going to go to, I've done this before. This is just you can have a specific graphic for your gauges and stuff. I'm just going for a color, just so it's a color bar. So I'm going to come here to Swashbuckler Base. I'm going to do this. I don't think this matters, but I'm going to set it to 16 by 16. I don't think that necessarily matters, but I just really need that red right there, okay? And if you wanted to adjust the hue of it, you could do it here in the hue shift. I'm fine with red. Red is good. We like red. Okay, so I set that, hit OK. We got the red block that popped up there. Scroll down. We're going to adjust its relative height and width. So I'm going to smush it down a bit. Probably start with 30. We'll smush it down with the relative width. Okay, let's do 30 again. See what that's like. And then we're going to put it over in a position. We want it to be up underneath our max and current HP. So something about like this. This is what I'm going for. Maybe smush it down a little bit. This is all just fine-tuning stuff. We can make it thin. This is the part that I like. This is the tweaking part. Relative height. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay. So that's HP gauge. We're going to do the same thing. Let's copy and let's paste it. Let's call this one MP gauge. Let's change current value. Statistics MP. Let's change maximum value. Statistics max MP. Keep your fill strategy percentage. You also have repeat and stretch, but for this application, we want it to be percentage because it needs to be the percentage of current HP to max HP. I don't think I explained that on the first one. We want it to be a different color. So I'm going to come back into here to fill. And up here under fill in a pixel, here it is. We got this nice blue. So I'm just going to select that blue, hit OK. You see our bar change color there. So we're just going to push it over to sit up underneath the MP. About there. Looks pretty good. I could tweak on the colors a little bit. I'm really tempted to do it, but I'm not gonna. So okay, that's that. We have all that displaying. I'm gonna click apply. I'm leaving space for other things later that we can do later. Like so. Well, whatever. That's fine for right now. I'm leaving space because we will probably come back to this at some point. We're not done yet. Okay. Let's come over here to battle configuration. Then we scroll down all the way at the bottom. You have user interface. That, what we just created, was the battle overlay. So let's select battle overlay. Let's click apply. Let's click OK. Let's just check it out. I can't remember if I said at the top of the video, but I took out the battle music and the victory music just for simplicity's sake. So honestly, I don't have to like adjust the volume in editing. Let's go talk to Google Gobble 3. We still do have the initiate battle sound though, so anyway. There you go, look at that. We got Bartimus Maximus, we got Gab, we got Gorlock the Destroyer, whose name is a bit too long, and we got Miss Guppy. And oops, I did have Google Gobble showing up here, so there's something. There is something I overlooked. Let me figure out what that is, and we will solve that right now. But other than that, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Okay, actually, I'm punching in here after the initial recording. I'm gonna fix this little, the fifth mystery guy here. I had Locke explain to me what was happening, because for a while I couldn't figure out which of these positions I needed to focus on. So, because you got position, you have item details, and then over in item components, you got a position here. But basically, under item details, the relative height and width, that's a percentage based upon what you set here. So really, I want to set the relative height and width first in this position, and whatever I set it, like let's just say I have it set to 100. So my relative height is set to 100%, then the item detail height, this is 10% of that 100%, or 25% of that 100%. So if you wanted, if you wanted 5 things listed, you would set it as 20, because you'd have 20% of whatever your number is. I want 4 things listed, so I'm going to set it to 25. And then I'm going to come down here to relative height, and I'm going to adjust this. So hopefully I explained that out okay. But see, there we go. Set it to 35%. So now my position is 35%, and then 25% of that 35% makes it look like this. It sounded like some Steiner math there, man. And if you guys get that, then that's good on you. But anyway, just wanted to punch in with that real quick. If you need some clarification, we'll probably put a post about it, or a Locke says or something. Anyway. But now that we have this, we have our nice little stats overlay window. We also need a second window to display the commands. Stuff like attack, magic, items, defend, skills, whatever you want to list there, okay? And it has to be, you have to set up a separate UI for it, which is fine. We enjoy UI stuff. So we're going to come down to the next box. We're going to call this battle commands. I'm gonna set it needs to be a menu. It is not an overlay, it's not a shop, it's not a message box, it's not dialogue, it's a menu. We do not want it to be cancelable. We do not need the context here. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come back to my battle overlay because I want it to be, lined up with this. I'm just gonna copy this background. I'm gonna paste it in here. I'm gonna paste a second one, and I'm going to adjust my width. This is for this is just for how I want to do it because I want them to be the same height. Since I want something like that, this is just an easy way to reference. So I got it. That looks pretty good. So now I'm going to delete this one. Bam, we're good. I'm going to create another. Hey, you know what? While we're copying and pasting in, let me just go ahead and copy this name label. Come back over to commands, paste it. Let's rename it command, and let's rename it here command. Commands. Let's do that. And then let's just put it in place. Let's just drag it over here. Bam, easy. All right, now here's where the meat and potatoes start to come in, okay? Let's add a templated list. We're gonna call this battle commands. We are going to keep it vertical. Our template type is, you guessed it, it's battle commands. We don't need custom context. We will be setting a cursor, but first, before I do that, I'm gonna come down to item components. I'm going to add text because we need some text displaying here. We're just gonna call it command names. You can just call it names. You can call it whatever you want. We're gonna set the font size to 36. We are going to use a template because we need it to pull from the database the list of commands to add here. So set or use template, type in name, just plain old name, okay? And then I think that's everything there. Let's go back over to the left side here. We need to set the relative height. Let's drag it down to about there-ish for now. Let's set the width, the relative width under item details. Let's just go to 100 to get rid of those. Let's set the relative height here to 25 because we want 4 commands. So 25 out of 100, 4. And then we're gonna drag it into place, probably about there. There-ish. About like that. 35 relative Y. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So we got the commands listed out, and maybe I'll bump it over one more. Center. Nah, we'll do that. Okay. Anyway, tweaking. We're gonna come back up here to cursor appearance. So we're gonna choose our sprite for our cursor. I have this lovely little red cursor I made, and I used in my first interface videos. So we're gonna click that. I'm going fast. I'm sorry, speed running. You click this little button just to select just the picture itself, and then we are going to set the type. We want it to be a pointer that is on the left, and you can see it's a little off from there, just with the way I have things set up, which is fine. It's fine. You know what I'm doing. We are going to just then use cursor offset to kind of line it up how you need, okay? So that's all good to go there, okay? Good? Following? But next, real quick, we need to have skills in order for it to display anything here. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back up here in our database to skills. We are going to go over this in more depth on one of the upcoming videos, but for right now, this is just to get it looking right. We're going to do 4 skills. I'm just going to name them some basic things. Attack. Oops, let me not all caps. Let's do attack. We're going to call this one magic. This one will definitely have to be fixed. These other ones, items and escape, these are probably fine. But you'll see in a future video, like I said. Okay, so we have those set. We're going to come up to characters because we need to tell the engine that what kind of skills the characters have. Because right now none of them can attack or use items or anything. So we're just going to click Bertimus Maximus. We're going to come over here to traits. See, we have these nice tabs now. There's a recent update. We're going to come to traits. We're going to add 4. We're going to go attack. We're going to go magic. We're going to go items. We're going to go escape. They were already defaulted to skill. But you have a bunch of options there. But that's what we needed to do. I'm not going to go into the other characters yet. There's no need to do them just yet, but we will at some point. And actually, what I am going to do, though, I'm going to take off the Maximus. I'm going to take off Warlock the Destroyer. I'm going to shorten up their names for the prettiness of the interface. Okay, so now we've created skills. We've told the engine that Bertimus can use these skills. But before we jump into our test, we're going to come back down to battles configuration, okay? We are in a turn-based battle. Actually, before I jump into that, I know, I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. We're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. We have the user interfaces box where we set battle overlay as our overlay, and you may have figured it out. We have our battler command menu. We're going to set it to battler commands, okay? Or battle commands, whatever you name it. As I mentioned, we are in turn-based battles, so we also need to tell the engine, we need to give it some kind of a formula to determine who goes up. So again, we're going to go into this in more detail. Cue the not covering that today thing, but just for right now, I'm just going to put in 10 for each of them so there's something in there. We will actually come up with something later. But we're going to hit apply, we're going to hit OK, we're going to run the test project. I'm going to pray that I did everything right. Okay, here we go. Google Gobble, we meet again. And look at that, you guys, we did it. Look at that. We have our commands, we have our command window, we have our character window. We're not bleeding over into the stats with our super long unnecessary names. They could use a little tweaking. You can see the gauge is off and stuff, but all that's fine tuning, and I won't make you watch me fine tune. I just wanted to get you guys up and running so you can see how you build your own interface, okay? Alright, but there is one more little thing I wanted to show you today. It's real quick, it's real easy. I know I've been going on long enough, but you'll like it, okay? So, random encounters, okay? You love them, I love them, some of you don't like them. It's fine. We're gonna set up a real quick, an easy random encounter. So, up here, next to the light bulb, we have the 2 swords. This is the battle region editor. So you have focal points, and you have just edits the map's battle regions, okay? We're just going to select this. I am going to right click and drag. I'm just going to do the whole map, actually. Let's do that. There we go. And, oh, that's right, okay. When you drag, a little window opens up, add battle encounter, click that. And then over here in the top right, you have the battle encounter region. And here, you can decide what kind of encounters the player will run into. So you see we got Google Gobble 1, we got Google Gobble 3. And the higher the number, the higher the encounter rate. So let's just say, if we're doing out of 10, I don't know, let's just say 6 for Google Gobble 1. Let's add a second one. There we go. And Google Gobble 3, so let's call this a 4. So, out of 10 encounters, you'll run into the single Google Gobble 6 times. Out of 10 encounters, you'll run into the group of 3 4 times, okay? And that's really it. You can set that and go. oh, we also have the steps here. So we're gonna say, you know, you got minimum number of steps it takes for a battle and maximum number it takes. So just to display it quickly, we're just gonna do 3 minimum, 6 maximum. So that's a pretty high encounter rate, but I don't want to be running around forever trying to trigger this thing. You have the battle backdrop. You can set that here. We're just going to keep it as BG1. That's where you determine your battle region. So if you had a battle region just for the sand area, you could have a specific backdrop. If you had another battle region for the grassy area, you could change the backdrop. Pretty easy, right? And then also if you wanted to adjust the area, you have these up here, so you could change the width. You can see it's adjusting there. You could change the height. You can see it's adjusting there, or you could just shift the box over. Let me zoom out and you can maybe see it a little better. See what I mean? Pretty cool, right? Okay, we are gonna set it back to there. And I think that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna run the test project. I'm gonna get me in an encounter. I'm gonna walk around. Look at that, random encounter. Got my menu going. Pretty cool, right? But, of course, none of these do anything. So next time, we are gonna go into further depth with skills. We're gonna talk about other things I'm not sure of just at this moment in time, but we're getting there, guys. We've set up an enemy, we've triggered random encounters, we got our battle overlay. We're getting there, okay? All right, that should do it for today. As always, do all the YouTube things, like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know if we're supposed to say that anymore these days. The YouTube gurus are saying, you know, you don't need to do that. Don't say that no more. It's just, I don't know, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly, do whatever you want. How about that? Do whatever you want as far as YouTube goes. But do make sure you grab your copy of RPG Architect if you haven't already. Leave us a review on Steam if you've been enjoying the engine. If you've been enjoying the music so far, if you've been enjoying my commentary and my mess ups, please consider supporting me on patreon.com/bitbybitsound. I think that covers everything. So I hope you have a great day, because you have been amazing. I have been Bert, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Now get out there and create something awesome. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Master